Right. Bro, I'd be playing that CTR, bro. Damn the Polar Express or whatever I'm on. Polar Speedway. Damn you to hell. Alright, you sound good. Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Two.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Alright, I sound sexy. We Gucci. Alright, yo! What it do, GG Nation, GG Legion. It's your fella again. Straussman, the GG. Well, gracing you with another episode. It's been about a couple weeks since we did our last. I think we did our E3 prediction show. Was our last GG and Friends podcast. But welcome to Golden God and Friends episode 400 billion and a half divided by 2 underscore. I love you. But no, episode 33 post E3 and Sony acquiring some new studios? Question mark. We're gonna talk about that in today's episode. Shout out to Chad and Steve. They weren't able to make this episode. I wanted them to be on this episode, but it's going to be me and JJ rocking out tonight. But shout out to both of them. They hung out with me a majority of the live stream press conferences. That was really fun. Steve was on every single one besides Ubisoft. He was on the Ubisoft one, but then his internet went out, so he wasn't on that. So shout out to you guys. And most importantly, shout out to the GG Nation, GG Legion. That was really fun having you guys on there. And we're all talking about the, Nintendo Direct or the Microsoft show. Shout out to my cousin JJ for helping out. He hopped on a couple as well. But I'm really excited to talk about this one. Gather your thoughts. But how you doing, JJ? What's going on, brother? Thanks for joining me.
No problem, Levi. I'm good. Just hanging in there.
JJ's been playing a lot of Rage 2, which is Rage in some countries.
Only a few.
And he's really close to platinum it. Shout out to my buddy Chris, one of our newest moderators on Twitch. He helped me with Borderlands 2 PS4 plat. I platinumed the PS3 one by myself, but he helped me out on the end there. But we're on the platinum hunt. JJ and I have been playing some CTR, and man, it's brutal, bro. If you don't drift, it is brutal as shit. It is tough. What are your thoughts on CTR so far as the remake? What do you think? Beanox did a good job? I know you didn't play. Yeah. I played a little bit more than you have, but what do you think so far?
Yeah, I played the original a lot, but it's so good.
Out of all the Crash games, that was the one I never played. Was Crash Team Racing?
Yeah, they did a really good job. It's like all the Crash games, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it is brutal, man. Those boss fights, my goodness, they are not easy. It reminds me a lot of Diddy Kong Racing. I know a lot of people say Mario Kart, but a lot of people forget this hidden gem that I'm not going to dig out because I'm going to have to dig out some shit. But I do have it. But it's Diddy Kong Racing, 64 was incredible. Where Banjo and Conker started with. And it was really, really fun. But shout out to Beanox. That was really, really cool. I was so excited to get it. We're going to have Marvel Ultimate Alliance soon. And I think we're having a new Super Mario Maker too later this week, I think.
I don't know if I'm going to pick it up right away, but...
Or whatever. But we're going to have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 on here, and whenever. I'm going to also have Fire Emblem on the channel at the end of the month. My Collector's Edition's been pre-ordered for like 7 months now, it feels like. Because those things, anything Nintendo Collector's Edition, they go out the window. Like, you just... Boom! But let's get into this. Let's start with our overall, thoughts of E3. What was your hype level, JJ, of this E3? You're kind of new to the E3 game. Where Chad, Steve, and I are we're kind of veterans to it. We've been doing it all our life. We love video games. Where you're starting to bloom as a gamer now. You're starting to get into a lot of different stuff.
I've always been into E3. I didn't watch it live or anything. But,
yeah.
But I've always, anytime, God of War 2, I think was a big one for me. I'm always hyped for the new Marvel games and stuff, and then they disappoint me, and then... But
Hey, they're taking it more serious now, JJ. With Marvel.
I guess I was fairly hyped. There's a lot of things I wanted to happen that I knew wouldn't, but it'd been nice. I kind of got my Ninja Turtle thing, but in a different form, more expensive form.
The arcade. What's he's talking about is the arcade cabinet that's coming out. They're doing X-Men. They're doing a whole bunch. It's really cool.
Yeah.
The first ever X-Men and Turtles are the first ever 4-player cabinet, though, right?
Yes. But I was excited for Ubisoft's, or no, not Ubisoft, Square Enix's. I was very excited for Square Enix's conference.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're doing a podcast. I do apologize if I don't get to your comments right away. I'm sorry. My apologies. We're doing a podcast, so join. You're free to comment whatever you like, but I appreciate you guys. Shout out to all of you that are here right now. That was pretty quick. And my apologies, JJ.
Oh no, I was super stoked to see the new Marvel game, the Avengers game.
You guys know very well. Steve was too. Like holy shit, and it was going crazy.
And I would say it didn't disappoint. It looked good. It looked good from what we got to see of it. I'd like to see more gameplay, but
the only disappointing thing for me is that they after not hearing for it for so long, I was hoping to see more because they did have a gameplay demo.
Yeah.
I wanted to see some more gameplay. The one thing, I'm glad I'm not the only person that's with this. I did not like the character designs with the Avengers, personally. To me, they look like a cheaper version of the actual main cast in the MCU. I think they leaned into too MCU. And what I loved about Spider-Man so much and what Insomniac did was they went with their own character. They did their own style, their own flair. I know a lot of people were upset when they did that, but what did they end up having? All the classic, like you start out with the classic suit. Spoiler, like if you didn't pick it up for $20, you're never gonna pick it up. Like go play Spider-Man. What do you like? It is a classic, great Marvel game, great game to start the MGU, the Marvel Gaming Universe. Spider-Man did a hell of a job on that game. Insomniac did, and Square. I had a lot of concerns with this. But you're right, it looked good. I just don't like the thing about it, the best way to describe their look is like if I asked you for a Mountain Dew and you gave me a Mountain Lightning. Like I wouldn't be upset with you. It's still good, it's still delicious. But I'm just a little disappointed. You know, I'm just a little disappointed. It's just not the same taste. But they did say that those looks might not stick around. Let's be honest though, right, JJ? They're going to milk the hell out of costumes anyway, right? It's a life of service game. It's going to be a multiplayer game. Game. Where, you know, we're going to be playing with each other. We're each going to be our own characters, stuff like that. They didn't say the M word on microtransactions, but you know damn well they're going to be in there. Probably.
If they do something like CTR's doing,
yeah,
I wouldn't mind. Where it's
you gotta grind the hell out of the game.
Yeah, you gotta earn the currency.
Oh great! It took me 7 times to beat the stage, and I got 20 Wampa fruit. Thanks. Can I get my beach cocoa? Hell no! Can't get my beach cocoa.
You dirty dog.
You
naughty dog.
My hype level, like all E3s, this E3 for me, it started out really low. But then when E3 started approaching and all the rumors started spreading, and then I was like, oh shit, get hyped. And then I think Microsoft set the tone for me a lot in that this E3 it didn't have that punch I needed. It didn't have that, you know, it's like I paid for like a $10 drink, and man, I didn't get fucked up. Like I didn't get that. You know, and I think they really set the tone for me because I was supremely disappointed in Microsoft's press conference. And we might as well start there. Was there any highlights for you in Microsoft's press conference? Since they did start out the show.
Not really, but I'm not a big, you know, most of the things that I was hyped for, we'll be able to get for the PS4. But what was it, the Elden Ring?
Yeah.
I've never been really a Halo guy, but it looks pretty good. Years.
You gotta show me a lot more for Halo to win me back, man.
But you know them. I think now announcing a new console is huge. I think that was the only real highlight for me.
To be fair, though, they did the same thing. I apologize for cutting you off. They did the same thing when they did with Project Scorpio. They just had a bunch of people talk about, oh, it's going to be fast, power, power. And like they didn't really reveal the console or show anything yet.
Oh, no. They gave you a name and saying, hey, loading times.
Yeah, that was the thing. Loading times. Yeah, loading times. And who said loading times first, though?
It was the PS5.
PS5 said that, so that's why they said that a bunch. But continue.
It's a competition, but Microsoft, I think I gave it a B- because they announced, a release window for their new console.
Holiday 2020.
So that kind of, I mean, without that, I think it's a very average, maybe like a C.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to hate Microsoft.
Yeah, I want to make that clear. We're not being... I own an Xbox. JJ and I own an Xbox One. But damn, I would love to turn it on. Like, I would love to turn it on. And I will with Gears 5 and Battletoads. We'll be playing that on the stream.
Yeah, I've been playing it a little bit with the kids lately. But it's actually... I went and bought a power cord and it's hooked up upstairs now. So.
Yeah.
But the kids use it to play Roblox, basically.
Yeah. I gave their show a C. It kind of really disappointed me a lot. This was their chance to like just blow my dick out of the water, show everybody that they're not joking around when it comes to console gaming. And I don't want to say they're not joking around because they picked up another studio, I think, and they showed some great games. And unfortunately, a lot of their games were leaked. Like the highlights for me were like Tales of Arise, which I know a lot of you are probably going to correct me on that because it's a Japanese game. It's probably going to be called Tales of Arise or something like that. But right now, until they tell me what it is, I'm going to call it Tales of Arise. Looked great, but it was spoiled already for me. Elden Ring was already spoiled for me, which is the J.R. Martin game with FromSoft. I'm really excited about that one. Cyberpunk, I think I'm good on. I already know I want to kind of pick it up and play it anyway. I mean, a lot of people, you forgot to mention the Keanu Reeves moment, and I think that was the big moment for everybody for that conference.
He is everywhere right now, man. I went and saw Toy Story 4.
Yeah, he was. He's in that one, yeah.
He's awesome. Duke Kaboom. Yes, Canada.
If you guys know I was doing jutsu moves there, that was John Wick. That was John Wick.
Yeah, he gets, was he Cyber John Wick in that?
Yeah, I know, right? He's a cyber, like,
He's Terminator John Wick.
It looks very different from their last game, Witcher 3, which was a very, medieval type setting with monsters and stuff. This is very city, cyber stuff, cyber-esque stuff. But, I know I've already seen it and enough of it to know that I probably will pick it up. I'm a fan of CG Projekt Red. They proved their pedigree to me with Witcher 3 when they won Game of the Year 2 years ago, and that game today still looks better than most games, which is kind of crazy to say. Oh no, 2015 it won it. So I mean, to this day, that game still looks better than most games that are coming out today. The next one, I believe, was Bethesda. Was there anything in Bethesda that kind of?
Doom looks fantastic. Was it Doom Eternal?
Oh man, yeah.
That game looks fucking dope. Then they had what were there a couple indie games or not indie, but a couple of games they were working on.
They got Ghostwire Tokyo. They have the new Elder. They're adding stuff for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Rage 2 is getting DLC, which is kind of shocking. I was not expecting that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. What was the last game they announced, or what was the second?
Deathloop.
Yes.
That one looked pretty interesting. Wolfenstein Youngblood looked pretty good as well with the daughters. JJ and I do have Wolfenstein 2. I played a little bit. I bought it for Black Friday with all the DLC. It's really good. Really, Bethesda kind of had a bad reputation because of Fallout 76 and stuff like that, but they really had a pretty decent showing. I still gave it a C. I was really excited for Shinji Mikami's game, which was Ghostwire Tokyo, but they didn't show much. It was just like, hey, you kind of know, like, it's just a vague trailer. And trailers don't do it for me anymore. And, like, Steve said it off camera, and he said that this E3, it was just a lot of teaser trailers. And to me, I don't like that. Like, with Sony, when they showed God of War 4, they fucking played that thing. they came out and played that game. Like, they opened up at E3, and it was like, nobody knew it was coming. Like, okay, what is this game? Who's this boy? Then you see Kratos walk out of the shadow, and they fucking play it. They effing play the game. Like, oh! That was like, I didn't give any conference an A. Like, the closest I gave anything was a B. But I thought Bethesda did all right. They showed that they are one of the best third-party. They need to build that reputation back up after Fallout 76. And it looks like they are. I mean, they kind of rebranded and repackaged.
They patched the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it's
Royal.
Yeah, they had the Battle Royale mode. Yeah, like.
But it's Bethesda games were never really played them. I think Doom is the only one I ever really played. And Rage 2 is. I have finished the story. The story is very. This will be my Rage 2 spoiler cast. The story is very shallow. There's not a lot to it, but oh man, the game is fucking fun. It is fun. It's
running off that Doom engine, and it feels like Doom in a lot of ways. It feels really nice, really smooth. The driving feels really good. Besides the turning, I didn't like the turning as much. Like the sharp turns.
Well, you hit circle on a sharp turn better. But the open world is better than I thought it was at the beginning. The map is starting to fill out with a bunch of shit to do. So.
Okay. I gotta play a little bit more. I played 3-4 hours of it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. But
it probably take if you just go straight story, take you like 8 hours, 9 hours to beat it.
Yeah, you told me that, and that sounds about right because that's the feeling of the story I'm getting. Like I'm meeting a lot of people, and I'm like, I don't really care. I don't even care about Walker myself. Like I don't like, It's like it's just they kind of it's like
give you a personal connection to her.
Well, it's just really interesting that it's just like you're kind of thrust in this role. You're just super badass. There's no growth to it. Well, Kratos is super badass, but there was a lot of growth in God of War. A lot of growth in 4. Like him redeeming himself as a father. That was such a more powerful story than, hey, I'm just killing random savages in an open world wasteland. Which I think we have too many open world games nowadays. I think everybody needs to tone that down. Come back to linear games. Tell a great story.
Yeah, you want semi-open world where you can adventure, but not, you still want to tell a good story. And if you can, I think Days Gone did a good job with,
balancing both. World. Yeah.
Yeah. But, as far as Bethesda goes, I would say probably a B.
Mm-hmm.
B minus somewhere in there. Doom Eternal looks amazing.
That was their best game by far. That game looked leagues better than everything they showed there. Like, leagues better. Let's go to Ubisoft. What did you think of Ubisoft? They did not start out with Just Dance like they normally do. They saved it for a little bit.
They did get Just Dance in there.
They did later on, but they always usually open the show with Just Dance. But, go ahead.
Again, another company where I kind of fell off of playing their game. I loved... I never played the Far Cry games until 5.
Yeah, until I suggested it, yeah.
And 5 was fun, New Dawn was fun. I'm anxious to play 3. But, they showed what? Did they show a trailer for like a new Assassin's Creed or some shit?
No. They opened up with Watch Dogs Legion, which has like kind of permadeath, and they can.
That does look good.
The only concern I have with that is how am I going to really get to know these characters a little bit? And it seems like each character kind of has their archetype. Like the old people walk like old people, and I think there'll only be a few special classes.
Too many people can fuck with you though.
Yeah.
There are going to be a lot of people fucking sabotaging people, but.
Yeah.
It's another conference I wasn't super into.
They had that Mythic Quest show from Mac on there.
That was probably the highlight for me. I'm a Sony guy, so...
Finn and Jake are in Brawlhalla, new season of Rainbow Six. Ghost Recon Breaking Point, gonna have Terminator, has the guy Shane from Walking Dead in it, / Punisher in it. But Terminator's also gonna be a guest in that. Like, Terminator's being whored out in all these games lately.
In every hole.
They had the Splinter Cell game, which is the one game that leaked from last year, remember? Still has not unveiled itself. They showed a mobile game.
cartoony ass mobile game.
Yeah, Just Dance 2020. They had they're adding more content. I give Ubisoft and Bethesda a lot of credit. They really support their franchises that don't do good. Like For Honor, they're still doing shit. Division's getting DLC. They have this new service called Uplay Plus. You know, they're really in. Ubisoft is one of the forerunners of Stadia. They're really into Stadia. I am not there. I'm not there for Stadia.
I'll let you know how it goes. Jack's gonna get it.
Jack is okay. Jack is JJ's little brother, my little cousin.
Yeah. So I'll tell you how it is.
The one game I really liked was Roller Champions.
That's the one I thought that was a Square Enix game, but yeah. The rollerblading, shoot the ball.
That looks like it's a 3-on-3 like roller skating game with like basketball. So JJ and I will play the shit out of that on stream.
Yeah,
if we get that game,
awesome.
we're gonna play the hell. That's a fun game. That reminds.
Give us a beta code for this shit.
Yeah, I wish they would have a beta. I want to play it. And then they ended with Gods and Monsters, which is a new IP. Looked very it's like their version of God of War, but very cel-shaded, cartoony-esque.
Yes.
I gave it I think I gave it a C as well. There was nothing that, you know.
But, again, that's another company. They put themselves out there. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they do work. And then Square. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's hard for me to be critical of. You know, you have to be to keep them on the toes.
What's up, Josh? Thanks for subbing. Thanks for following me on Twitch, man. Appreciate you.
They're trying, man. And Gods and Monsters, I want to see gameplay of that.
Yeah, I don't. It's like
nothing to me right now.
Teaser trailers don't do it for me anymore. It's like,
well, it doesn't. You know, you can CGI anything, man. You can make anything look fucking dope.
Back then, it really meant a lot because you couldn't do that. You know, back when we grew up with PS2s and shit, like that was like, whoa! But now it's like, you know, I want to see what the game looks like. I want to see how it plays. Then for the first time ever, Square had their own press conference and they took Sony's spot. But did they impress you enough, JJ? Was that a worthy showing?
Another company that I've gotten into recently. I didn't play a lot of Square games as a kid. Obviously the Marvel game is gonna be forefront for everyone.
Yeah.
I know my tag team partner, the tag team champions of the world, Chad, is very excited about the Final Fantasy VIII remake, I believe it is.
Yeah, the remake for PC, on console.
Super excited about that. But you got Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. We all knew that was going to come this way.
Yeah, we all figured that. But again, what the hell was that trailer?
Yeah, no shit. Final Fantasy 7 though looks dope.
Yeah, it looked really good.
It's fucking good. But other than that, I'm not a big.
Yeah, they had a pretty. This is a very needy showing for.
14,
Which one?
You watched the Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah, the MMO Mello.
Yeah.
Mello plays that all the time.
Yeah, that looked cool. And have you seen any of the commercials for it yet?
Yeah, with Tom Holland. Yeah, I saw that. It was pretty funny.
Hannibal Buress. So.
Yeah, where he's lifting him. I don't know if Tom Holland can lift Hannibal Buress. I could be wrong.
But I think Square did some great things for their fans. I really do.
If you're a big JRPG lover, this was a real big one for us.
They brought another one over, right? What's the one that's making its first appearance to the West? Something Star.
That was a Microsoft's conference. That's Fantasy Star. Yes, and it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be a year exclusive with Microsoft. They were on people on the PlayStation fans on Twitter were really upset, and they were tweeting them, and they tweeted back like, "Hey, just stay tuned," which lets me know that it's not a permanent exclusive. It's a it's just a year exclusive stuff like that.
What?
But if you like JRPGs, they started out with Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's 2 Blu-ray discs. It's gonna be Midgar, which is like the first part of the game. Life is Strange 2 dropped that same day. Crystal Chronicles Octopath Traveler's on Steam. The Last Remnant is on Switch. Dragon Quest Builders 2, which I feel like that game came out already, but it hasn't come out. Like,
Yeah, I thought it did too.
yeah, Dragon Quest XI-S, which is the Switch exclusive version that has extra content like orchestra and stuff in it. They had a big indie montage. Kingdom Hearts DLC, Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV, which is the Tom Holland stuff. Dying Light 2, Romancing Saga 3, Saga Scarlet, Final Fantasy War of the Visions, Outriders Summer. Oenaki? I think I said that right. Final Fantasy VIII Remake coming out this sometime around soon. And then they ended with Marvel Avengers Co-op Life of Service game. It was one of the few conferences. This is Nintendo I gave a B because I really like, kind of a selfish reason because they showed a lot of stuff I really enjoy. Like, I love, Japanese role-playing games. It's like my favorite genre ever. And for a while, there wasn't really a lot of good ones. There's, Persona, and, Final Fantasy for me has fallen off a lot. I hold Square in such a high regard because of their older Final Fantasies. But it does look like I'm getting Resident Evil 2 Remake vibes of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it looks really good. It looks like they really showed that game a lot of respect. Anyway, so I think they're going to be okay with that. Marvel is going to have free DLC characters that we don't have to pay for. That's what they said anyway. We'll see if that changes. And PS4 exclusive stuff and an exclusive beta for PS4. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, if you have a PlayStation, you're getting Spider-Man.
I agree with that too. I think Spider-Man's gonna. I think he's gonna be in there. I think it's reasonable.
You haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse yet, have you?
No. Everyone tells me it's great, and besides Joel, but Joel hates on everything.
Joel, suck it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding, Joel. I love you. So when Miles Morales goes back into the Spider Den thing, spoiler alerts, but they show all the costumes and tubes, kind of like Batman has.
Yeah. Like the Spider Cave.
Yeah, and they have the first one you see is Marvel's Spider-Man. PS4 is the first suit you see.
Did not expect that. We're talking post E3, Josh. E3 is a big event, which all these companies show all the new games that are coming out soon, or a 6-to-month ratio. It's like our Super Bowl as gamers. We really like it, but this year's showing to me was...
It's like when the Buccaneers played the Raiders. The Buccaneers won, but who gave a shit?
I live in Florida, and nobody did. Nobody.
that was for you, Matt.
He won't like that. But I gave it a... What'd you give Square? I gave it a B.
I gave it a B+. I think the Marvel thing really fucking...
You said you're okay with the designs, right?
I agree with your take on them. They look like if I were to tell Seth to draw Chris Evans, it would be like that. But I think it's kind of smart to cash in on that. But
well, yeah, absolutely. What's the big thing? What's the big blockbusters in movies nowadays?
Yeah,
Marvel.
Marvel, hands down. But I'm with you. They, and maybe they do a different take. So you could do a lot of different things with, Thor and Cap.
Yeah, this all I see is like...
I think they do a slightly different... I will say Iron Man did take a different take. Because if you read the comics, they do look like Robert Downey Jr., so...
Yeah. Now they do, yeah. He's the perfect role for it, yeah.
They do the,
But is Nolan North the right guy for Iron Man?
Nolan North's the right guy for anything.
Yeah.
That guy is a sarcastic son of a bitch who's funny as fuck. Just watching Retro Replay, guys, is hilarious.
Ultimate Beast!
Yeah, it's a good show.
And JJ and I are still challenging you, Troy Baker and Nolan North. We'll kick your ass in retro games. You hear it first. Altered Beast.
What we should do, and this is a thing, is we should get the Arcade 1-Up to donate us a Ninja Turtle cabinet, and the 4 of us will do a Turtles in Time retro replay together.
Yo, that'd be pretty dope. That'd be pretty... I like that. I'm glad I thought of it. I'm glad I thought of that.
Seriously, no. So, Nolan North, Troy Baker.
So, the ending...
Your headquarters.
So, as usual, Nintendo ends it off with their Nintendo Direct. What'd you think of the Nintendo Direct?
A lot of highlights of, again, it's a lot of stuff I won't play. But Banjo-Kazooie was huge for almost everybody. They've been waiting forever for him to be in.
I was waiting since Super Smash Bros. Melee in 5th grade for Banjo-Kazooie.
So Banjo-Kazooie's been, I mean, I think it's on the list every year of most wanted. You know, Marvel Ultimate Alliance has just got more gameplay. Like they did their Treehouse. It looks good. It's cel shaded and it's gonna be fun to play. I think it will be one of those
very interesting character roster. Like a lot of weird missions.
It was a weird, but I like how they already give you like a preset. You know, you put these 4 characters together, get a bonus. These four. But it's gonna be fun. I don't know how much replayability it's gonna have.
Well, also I think everybody levels up too, which is pretty cool. I think.
Yeah.
You keep switching. Also, they announced 3 DLCs. It's Marvel Knights, X-Men, and Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Well, they also announced a Dragon Quest character for Smash to get later in the summer.
Not just one, but 4.
Yeah. Nintendo's been doing it right for a long time. Pretty much since the Switch dropped. They've kind of, they've hit all their marks. Smash Bros. Is a fantastic video game. Odyssey was, it was right up there for Game of the Year. Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year. Again, a teaser for Breath of the Wild 2.
Breath of the Wild and Odyssey came out the same year, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
you don't see that a lot.
They probably finished 1 and 2 for Game of the Year as well.
Nope.
I don't know.
Game of the Year. For me, on GG and Friends, it was my Game of the Year. And Chad's Game of the Year.
Yeah. Was Horizon Zero Dawn that year too?
What happened now?
Was Horizon Zero Dawn that year as well?
Yep, Horizon. Sony had 2 exclusives. Nintendo had 2 exclusives.
That's
and then,
year,
what was the other game? Do you know the other game?
Not off the top of my head, no.
PUBG. G. What? Trash, bro. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Don't tell that to Big Play Slay.
Yeah, I know. I see him on Twitter. He's always tweeting Donovan Mitchell and shit.
Him and Derek Carr were playing the other day.
Yeah, I saw that too. They opened up with Dragon Quest 11 characters joining Smash, which we all kind of figured. September 27th for Dragon Quest. Again, they showed another Dragon Quest which was in the Square Enix show. Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be this year, but they didn't give a date. And they did prove that they're going to have some multiplayer elements, which I kind of said that I figured they would. It just makes sense. So you and me can play that co-op together. I thought they would have a little bit more. Actually, they did. I think you can have, 4 players play against each other or something?
I think that's kind of what the Switch is at, is the 4 players. I think you can do 8 in Smash, but 4 seems like the...
Yeah, Smash is 8, but Luigi's Mansion 3 is 1. I forgot what exactly they said multiplayer-wise.
Probably is 4. Most games are at 4.
Dark Crystal's getting a game, which, okay, the Netflix Dark Crystal's getting a tactics game, which is really interesting. Link's Awakening, September 20th. Looks pretty good. Trials of Mana, that was a big one. Remake, and the Collection of Mana, they did a whole bunch of collection stuff as well. Witcher 3 on Switch, which I don't know how the hell that game's going to work on the Switch. It's probably not going to look too good.
Switcher 3.
Yeah, that's Switcher 3. I don't, it's a good move. It's a smart move. It's a really smart move by Nintendo, but man, it's got to look terrible. I don't think it's going to look good. Or run good.
Ports, wasn't there?
What happened?
They showed a lot of ports.
Yeah, there was a port montage. I still have my list right here. Fire Emblem is July 26th, which we already knew. They showed a little bit more. Resident Evil 1 remake, RE5 and RE6 are all going to the Switch. Makes sense. Why not pour all the RE? The interesting thing is Capcom literally said they did nothing extra with them. They didn't, it's the same game, just put it on the Switch. So I don't know if they're going to sell well because they're full price. You can't be charging $60 for a game that's 9 years old, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to fly. I think that's a little bit laziness on Capcom, which I like them a lot. And that was the one downer for me, was the absence of Capcom this year. They had such a great beginning half of the year with RE2 Remake and Devil May Cry 5. It's like, what's going on, guys? Which I still think Dino Crisis is happening, but it's going to be a Sony State of Play. State of Play, yep. I think it's going to be, you read my mind. I think it's going to be in the State of Play. Daemon X Machina, I don't know. I'm kind of over that game. Like, as an arm.
Ooh. What's that one game you were real hyped about? Keep reading.
Astral Chain.
That one you were, but there's another one.
Animal Crossing?
You were hyped for a lot of games.
This is true. This is a bad road you stumble upon.
Yeah. Nintendo, now that I think about it, Nintendo knocked it out of the park. Man.
They did really good, yeah. Look, a new Contra game came out, plus the Contra collection. Panzer Dragoon new remake of Panzer Dragoon. That's really surprising. Astral Chain is August 30th. They showed basically nothing of Pokemon, but they were there for a second. Empire of Sin, which I don't remember what that game was. Cadence of Hyrule, which is that indie Legend of Zelda game with Link and Zelda in it. Mario vs. Sonic Tokyo 2020. It had some interest. It had skateboarding and some cool ass shit in there. It looks fun, but man, I don't want to pay full price for that. Like, it looks pretty fun. Like, it looks super fun.
I'll get it the next Olympics.
Yeah. 4 years later.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons. I thought this was coming out this year because they said it was going to, but surprise, March 2020. Makes sense. Makes sense if you need to. They said they did it because they needed more time on it and they wanted to give their workers some rest because of all the new, gaming's biggest secret is out in the open now. Where a lot of these guys and girls are working like 80-hour weeks to finish these games and stuff. Now they're getting a lot more rest. That's more of a spotlight topic now. Really touchy topic. Banjo-Kazooie joins Smash, and then Breath of the Wild 2 ends it.
What is the one what is it? Heroes Never Die 3 or something like that?
No More Heroes 3!
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. You were super hyped.
Yeah, I was not expecting that because when they did the other No More Heroes game, and I was like, oh, this is not 3. It's just like him dreaming that he's in a game. And I'm like, it's cute. That's totally Grasshopper Studios there. But, I just was bummed out. But when they showed 3, I was like, oh yeah, that was a big moment for me. And I knew the Banjo-Kazooie thing. That was one of my predictions. I figured that was going to happen. But I gave Nintendo a B. I thought they did a really great job. They showed a lot of stuff that I want to buy for my Switch, of course, which they always do. They have a lot of big titles, but it's still kind of a quiet year for them. It's kind of weird. They have...
I mean, if they would shown a little more Zelda, but that's a huge reveal.
Which we'll give the Bearded Wonder some credit. He called it out. He said that was going to happen. I didn't think so, but it did.
I didn't think it was going to be a direct sequel because they haven't really done that since, the Super Nintendo.
No, NES. Zelda 1 and 2.
So, I mean...
And then Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are technically sequels.
Yeah.
But you're right. They don't do it a lot. This is like a legit... direct sequel.
And I think Astral Chain's gonna be fun.
Yep, that looks really good. Anything Platinum, your boy's down for. And I don't know how they're doing it because they have 9 games being made. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. But what'd you give Nintendo?
I gave it a B+. I thought they hit it out of the park. It's hard. I think my grades are a little higher because expectations were lower. So when you see oh shit, Animal Crossing and...
Well, this is what I judge mine on. I go all the way back to 2015 when Sony had the most amazing E3 press conference ever when they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue 3, and they brought back Last Guardian, which that game was in hibernation for 10 fucking years. That is an A moment. That is an A conference. And then the next year, they opened up the show with God of War 4. That is an A conference. So that's what I judge my criteria from.
It's harder now with, to keep shit under wraps. Like you said, if none of this shit gets leaked,
yeah. But it's part of it, though, JJ. You can't give them... it's part of it. It's part of the industry. And did God of War leak?
It almost did.
They didn't show anything. Bloodborne technically leaked. Bloodborne leaked before it was announced. From Software, whoever's running their stuff, you need to punch that guy in the face because he's leaking everything. All your games have always been leaked, every single one of them.
Boom's got to be on that shit too, man.
Yeah, but we're gonna go into some fun stuff now. Well, actually, no. What was your best conference?
I think Nintendo was the best one.
What was your worst one?
Probably Microsoft.
Yeah, okay. My best one, I would probably say, it's a tie between Nintendo and Square Enix for me. I know for a lot of people, Final Fantasy VII Remake and then Avengers, that's it. That's all they needed. But I liked what else they showed. And I think IGN gave it the worst conference. I disagree with that highly, 100%. I thought that was a really great conference. The worst one for me, it was also Microsoft or maybe Ubisoft. Those two were kind of... those three and Bethesda, those three got C's for me, but I would say Microsoft. I don't want to hate on Microsoft, but I don't know, man.
Microsoft, the expectations are higher.
Yeah, well,
because it's a huge company,
that's very true. But what did Sony do? Sony gave you a touchdown, and you fumbled. You fumbled, man. How? You fumbled at the 1 yard line. You fumbled, bro. But maybe that's what Sony wanted them to do. Sony probably wanted them to go all out. And Microsoft, maybe they're playing a weird chess game. And Microsoft was like, you know what? We're going to hold back a little bit. The only thing I just don't understand is Phil Spencer. I love Phil Spencer, but he was talking a lot of shit. Soon as Sony said they weren't going to be at E3, he tweeted, "Oh, we're going to be there. We're going to have a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to." It's like, guy, calm down. Simmer down, guy. We get you. We get you. But he just did that to retaliation from Sony. So it's really interesting. And again, they ended the conference in a very similar way with the Project Scorpio stuff, which again I don't. Power, load times this time. It was the load times of this. I don't show me the damn thing. But I'm sure they're gonna have their own press conference and stuff like that. Holiday 2020 is big. But let's talk about. Well, okay. Was there anything that you were expecting and it didn't happen and disappointed you? I'll go first. I'll let you think about it. It was Dino Crisis 3. The absence of Capcom. This whole no conference. And any conference at all, Capcom didn't show up at all. It was kind of odd for me. Again, but Sony, JJ and I said it earlier, Sony State of Play, I think that's where they're going to show a lot of stuff, I think, Capcom. And there's a rumor that they're still going to do one at the end of this month, which I don't know. Maybe we would have heard about it by now.
Yeah, I don't know if there's... I guess I was expecting if Microsoft was going to announce a new Xbox, I was expecting to see it.
Yeah.
I was expecting a design controller maybe, but I can tell you right now, load times are going to be a big back and forth between the two consoles, and they're already pretty quick for most games.
Yeah, that was the one thing though. Growing up as a kid, I figured that we would not struggle with. I figured load times would be non-existent. You could just do whatever you want. You can go anywhere in any game. There would be no invisible walls anymore. But I didn't realize how hard gaming is. It's super hard. Especially nowadays where... Focus camera. Where, they're making a lot of... You good? Okay, cool. Where they're, they're taking a lot of time. A lot of games take 5 years. And Sony has some big, quote-unquote E3 announcements anyway. Death Stranding got a release date, which was shocking. We were all like, what? What? that game, like
Yeah.
Kojima to finish that game in 3 years, because it took Metal Gear Solid 5 like 5 years and he still didn't finish it. Like Capcom,
Well,
Konami didn't let him finish it. They like fired him. Like,
Well,
you know,
you got-
so
You got Death Stranding got its release date, and the other big one is the biggest game going to be announced at this conference was the Marvel Avenger game, right?
and Sony exclusive content, right?
PS4 exclusive content.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still hitting. I think Final Fantasy VII might have exclusive Sony stuff, you know. So
No, it's exclusive to Sony for like a year.
yeah, so
No
mean,
mention of Microsoft on it at all. It's theirs.
so in a roundabout
That's really
way,
big too. That's
they
big having
still
both those
kind of-
games. Yep.
They still kind of won the conference without being there. So
It's very true. Like, so what was some of your? Was there anything that you were looking forward to that didn't show up? You know, the Rocksteady game. What the fuck is going on with that?
that's a big one. I thought, you know, even if it was just, hey, we're doing another Arkham, it's going to be, you know, because they do make good video games, man. That Arkham series is great.
I know, it's so weird that they've had so many canceled. We know Suicide Squad got canceled. We knew of Arkham, another Arkham game got canceled with Batman and Robin were going to be together, but that got canceled. There's a rumor of Court of Owls. Now the rumor is the Superman game got canceled, and now it's a Justice League game. Like, what is going on?
I think you even told me that there's a rumor about a Ninja Turtle game going
Yeah,
on.
there was a big rumor that they were going to do a Ninja Turtle game, which would, would for me and JJ, that's a blow your dick out of the water moment right there. Just whoa.
Yeah, that would have been a Microsoft exclusive. That would have been a.
It's amazing how so many of the things that we loved growing up, they still haven't really done well. They haven't done a lot of great superhero games, not a lot of great Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. All the Power Rangers games kind of suck. You know, except for the fighting game. The new fighting game was great. The new Power Ranger fighting game is awesome.
I think as we've gotten older, gaming's kind of matured with us. So the beat 'em up genre isn't as prevalent. You know,
Yeah, it's more of an indie thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's people don't want to pay $60 for a 6-level game.
Yeah.
Where you're just gonna fly through it.
Very true. And not to hate, because we've had some great ones. Like you said, the Batman Arkham series, those are great superhero games. Marvel's Spider-Man, fantastic. It was nominated for Game of the Year last year. You know, won against two juggernauts and didn't win anything, but still a great game.
Games were fun. The Ultimate Alliance, the Legends, that type of game.
Yeah, those were really great. Yeah, they had some great ones, but they missed a lot more than they hit homers, though.
Well, yeah, I agree. There was a really good beat 'em up with, I think it was Iron Man, Hawkeye, Captain America, and I don't know who the fourth one was.
I know who you're talking. I know. I remember that game. Yeah.
That game was fun, but you're right. Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine is a fantastic game. I recommend it. If you haven't played that yet.
If you want a rated R superhero game, that was pretty good. The Deadpool game was pretty good too, actually.
It's good, but
it's not great, but it's good.
It's good. It's a good game. It's a good game if you like potty humor
and you get a trophy for slapping Wolverine 50 times. That's pretty funny.
I got that achievement on the.
Yeah, I played it a lot on PS3. I never beat it, but I love the opening episode of that game where he has a budget and he blows it on the first episode.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. It's fun to see Nolan North do 3 voices for the same character.
He does a great job as Deadpool. I didn't even know he was Deadpool until I was much, much older, and I was like, "What? No way you were Deadpool!" And he was Deadpool, man. It was Deadpool. Anything else disappointing for you before we go into the fun stuff?
No. I guess everything kind of, a lot of stuff leaked, so there wasn't really major surprises.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I was expecting a Sindel trailer I thought Mortal Kombat would have some.
I figured we would too. It's kind of weird because Ed Boon keeps the ultimate troll. He just keeps Twitter alive. It's all these weird, Joker, Sweet Tooth, and all these. Like, okay, it's like. But I'm pretty sure the leak is 100% real, though. I think it. Yeah, I think it's real.
I agree.
So.
Because that chainsaw at the end of that trailer could be Joker as well, not Ash Williams.
Could be Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
I'm pretty sure it's Ash Williams.
It could be it could be Marcus Phoenix with his fucking.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be dope. I like that. I'm pretty sure it's Asheville.
You're almost 100. I know Bruce Campbell was tweeting shit about it too. So.
Yeah, he was. Well, he also said they're making an Evil Dead game, which would be awesome. I just finished watching Ash versus the Evil Dead, and man, that was such a great series. That was awesome.
Oh, dude, if Platinum got their hands on that, that'd be a dope game.
That would be sick, bro. Maybe because I don't know. Like we only know like we only know like 2 of the games they're making. There's like 6 more. 6 to 7 more. We don't know what they're making. Yeah. Astral Chain and that Babylon game. We haven't seen anything about Babylon. And Bayo 3. Sorry, they're working on Bayo 3. Still haven't seen anything on that either. But there was, if you Google it, there was a article. This was all over NeoGAF or GameFAQs, any of those boards, gaming boards you traverse that I do as well. Is that Sony's hiring somebody to handle new studio acquisitions. So there's a big rumor, and in the file, or the whatever it was, said they were acquiring 2 studios. And there's been a lot of rumors. So JJ and I are going to play a game. There's like 5 kajillion studios. I didn't list all. I listed a few that I think have a possibility of Sony acquiring. But I'm going to get the 2 obvious ones out of the way that everyone thinks are a lock, but I don't think are going to happen. Well, let's start with Insomniac. You know, it seems like Insomniac, if you guys don't know, Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, they did Sunset Overdrive for Xbox One, Spyro, the original creators of Spyro. 90% of the games they did are Sony exclusive. Like almost every single game they've done is Sony exclusive. Ted Price, though, he likes keeping the independence. But what do you think of Insomniac? You think that's a possibility?
It's a very strong possibility, but I think what they're going to do is they are going to continue. They're going to make exclusive games,
but keep their independence
for each company, though. You know, like the Sunset Overdrive and Ratchet & Clank over here. So I think they stay kind of neutrally exclusive.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they preach that. The other one is Kojima Productions. You know,
that one I think that one happens.
Okay.
I do think that one.
I don't think that's gonna happen either because Kojima has the same philosophy as Ted Price a little bit in the sense that he likes his independence. He's finally free from, Konami. He can actually make. Look how fat. A lot of people were like, "Man, Death Stranding is gonna take 7 years, 6 years." He did it in 3 years, man.
But I think what Sony does well is it gives its company its creators freedom. And I know that contradicts what I said about Insomniac, but I think with Kojima, they kind of leave him alone. God of War took 5 years. They kind of let Corey do his thing.
Yeah, you're right about that. They let those guys work.
Days Gone got pushed back how many times?
Yeah,
and they kind of.
I respect them a lot for that because a lot of companies don't do that.
I think. I don't know. At the end of the day, I know money is the overall ruler, but
it is for sure.
I think at the end of the day, though, I think Sony at this point, they want to make games people love. They want to make.
Remember, everybody laughed at them, man, when they were buying studios and making exclusive games that had story focus. Everyone was like, "What are you doing? That's dumb, right?" And then what's Microsoft doing? They bought like 10 fucking studios like in the last year. But you know the difference between Sony and Microsoft, though, is Sony kind of hand-bred these studios and let them kind of grow. Do you know the trend with a lot of Microsoft studios that have been acquired?
They're dying, aren't they?
Yeah, they're failing. They were going to go out of business,
yeah.
So they were probably easy to buy, cheap to buy. No offense to them. Because it doesn't mean they can't make great games. They obviously can. Ninja Theory obviously proved they can make a great game with that Senua game.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what it was called. We haven't played it yet. I wanted to play it. I forgot what it was called. But everyone was talking about it.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But, doesn't mean they're going to be a bad studio. I mean, I think those are great acquisitions. We'll see what they do with firepower and money. But let's see if Microsoft really gives them the creative freedom. Because Sony and Nintendo have already proven that to a degree. Nintendo, they still kind of hang out with Mario and Zelda a little too much. Like that's
But
just,
if you tell a decent story with Zelda and Mario, I think Zelda does a decent job of telling a story. Mario is, Save the Princess, but
I'm not saying Mario needs to have a kid and climb a mountain. Like that doesn't need to be
no.
that easy.
I think you see the reason the MCU does so well.
Yeah.
Is it's story driven. They're taking characters and driving a narrative. Guardians of the Galaxy, if it wasn't a good story, if it wasn't a fun, no one would give a shit. Because it's characters they didn't know.
They took a lot of chances with a lot of characters, right? A lot of characters.
Black Panther is another one that it's a narrative driven story where...
And Keanu Reeves is going to sign with them, most likely. They're talking about it.
Yeah, it's a very... Us as human beings still want a great story.
Yeah.
We want a TV show. When you watch, Game of Thrones did so well. Walking Dead, the early seasons did really well.
Game of Thrones only did well because of the boobies, JJ.
Breaking Bad was a fantastic TV show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right.
I think your Persona 5 is as long as there's a narrative. Because the other Personas did well, but 5 was up here, man. 5 took it to another level.
It started with 3, though. If it wasn't 3's success, 5 would have never been that great.
If you get a good story, and Sony's reaping the benefits of it right now. I mean, you can talk all the shit you want about Days Gone. It sold really well.
Yeah, it did great. It did surprisingly well.
Really well. Spider-Man sold really well. These single-player, narrative-driven games.
Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Our City. Nobody would play a game with Our City, right? And what it do is sold really well. It was the best Quantic Dream game sold.
There's still a place for, the fight. Mortal Kombat 11 is still, I think it's the highest-selling game of 2019. It is killing on every platform. I mean, every month.
In UK, though, Days Gone outsold Mortal Kombat when it came out that week. That's crazy to think.
Yeah, and I mean, there's still room. There's room for everybody. And that's what gaming should be. It shouldn't be, Sony talking shit about Microsoft. Fuck, your games suck and this shit. Microsoft just being hard-headed. I mean, when you watch their press conference and you see everyone, this is the best press conference ever. It's like, dude, just get a grip, man. It's okay to like both things.
Yes. Yeah, JJ and I don't partake in the fan war, as he just said there. We love video games. We love story. That's our favorite thing. That's what keeps us going. That's why I love Japanese role-playing games, because the story's really good. It's about a journey. It's about these people banding together to kill evil or whatever. That's what Final Fantasy used to be. Then Final Fantasy 15 was about a J-pop band. It was stupid.
But I'll still whoop your ass in Madden and get my ass kicked TR.
So
I'll hop on all that shit.
JJ thinks Kojima Studios is alive. I think it's a perfect marriage right now. I think them and Insomniac will keep their independence. I can see it happening though. This one I think will happen. Remedy. The guys that are doing Control, and they did a Quantum Break for Xbox One, which was exclusive. But now Control is coming out for everything, but they have the exclusive rights for it. I could see them taking Remedy away from Microsoft a little bit there and letting them get a better scope. I'm really interested with Control. It looks really interesting. I don't know if it's a day one buy for me, but it looks really interesting. I like the look of it anyway. What I've seen anyway.
Yeah, I'd like to see more. I would like to see more of that game. I could see that one happening too. It's any of these though. Sony has the money to do it. And
don't worry, I got some curveballs. For you.
Because I was thinking, well, go ahead, keep reading your list.
Yeah. This one I also think is the one that's a lock as well. I think it's 100%. Blue Point Games. The guys that did the most recent, they're basically a remaster studio, and they just recently did Shadow of the Colossus, which JJ and I own and loved. I loved it. I don't know if he loved it. I'm a big fan of that game. I really enjoy Shadow of the Colossus. And just them to remake a PS2 game to look like that was... I mean, that was kind of the start of the remake trend. That and Crash. crashed. Like the remake trend started with those two games, and it kind of ascended. You know, Spyro now, and then CTR, and then RE2 remake. They're all Final Fantasy VII remake. It's a big trend. It's a big trend in movies, but gaming is starting to happen now. Like much later, it's starting to happen now.
You can kind of make the game with the vision you had, 10
back then, yeah, right.
20 years ago.
But I think that's a lot. I think it makes too much sense. 90%, again, just like Insomniac, 90% of the games they made were Sony exclusives, or remastered. My question to you, what's their next remake? They said it's the most ambitious one, the biggest one they ever did. They've been working on it a lot. I thought we would have saw it already, but maybe at a State of Play we'll see it.
Ambitious remake.
Yeah, they said it was bigger than Shadow of the Colossus. It's the biggest one they ever did.
Ooh, that's a tough question, Levi.
For me, I think I finally hit the nail. I saw it on a message board, and I think they're right. The reason why Bloodborne got created was because Demon Souls was not made exclusive. Like, they did not buy from software. They didn't believe it. Sony did not believe in that game. They thought that game was going to be too hard. People were going to hate it and not play it. And Atlas published it here in America. And that game's servers just went down recently, like a couple, probably like 6 months ago, and a lot of people were really sad. So I think they're remastering Demon Souls. I think that's going to be the thing. A lot of people, the rumor is what people want is Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't see that happening. But that'd be cool as shit. That'd be cool as shit.
Gex Enter the Gecko.
Yeah, right? This one I don't think is a possibility, but it was in the rumor mill. CD Projekt Red. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see that happening.
In there.
It's too it's a great studio. Leave it where it's at. I know they're really Microsoft friendly because Microsoft plays for the rights, but those games still tend to sell better on the PlayStation console. They make great games. I don't know. It seemed like a really odd move to do, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it. How do you feel about it?
I don't think they come over. I think they do have a good relationship with Microsoft. Obviously, they're sending Keanu Reeves to the press conferences.
Yep. This one I could also see is Supermassive Games. The guys that did Until Dawn, they're doing their new game. Was it? I forgot what it was called. They just got like another trailer after E3. It's like the Maid of Median or something like that. It's another horror type, famous actor type game where
Until Dawn, one of the top 10 most underrated games of all time. That game
was really good. And damn, you guys saw on stream, I kept messing up chapter 5 or 6 or whatever it was to get that plot. I had to play that bitch like 6 times.
And Hayden Panettiere is hot.
And they had the guy that played the lead singer of Queen in there that won a
Rami Malek.
Yeah, a Golden Globe, which he did great. He did great in that game. That game was so fun. Like, it was such a fun game. I like Supermassive Games. I think it could be a possibility. What do you think?
I think at this point, I don't think CD Projekt Red is a possibility, but I think everything you said is very...
Yeah, very logical. Okay.
Yeah.
Frictional Games. In Frictional Games, they're a smaller developer, but we got a free game called Soma a couple months ago. It's a horror game, first-person horror-like game. There's not enough horror in this day and age. It's a smaller studio. I could see it being a possibility. It's part of the rumor mill. I don't know, though. I don't see a lot of traction towards that, though.
Horror is a good genre.
Yeah.
Right now, in everything, it's a good. Those games always do fairly well.
Yeah.
If they're made well, man, they're a lot of fun.
Resident Evil 7, incredible.
7 was amazing. RE2 was awesome.
PT
is. I just watched somebody play it.
I told you, man. It pisses me off. I don't have it anymore. It makes me so sad.
If you had a console with that on there,
it's like $3,000.
Well, yeah, it's crazy.
Like $3,000. Quantic Dream, surprisingly, also is not a Sony-owned studio, but 90% of their games.
Yeah, they don't really venture out of that.
They really make for Sony. Recently, I forgot someone else owns the company and they took majority of stake. They're saying that their games are going to be multi-platform now. But I could see Sony being like, no, we'll just take you off of the hands. We'll just take it. Because you already make games for us anyway.
Another studio that is weird, a lot of weird but fun games.
If you guys, by the way, if you guys don't know what Quantic Dream, it's Beyond, Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, games like that.
Can get a little wordy and a little nonsensical towards the end, but I think Detroit Become Human was his most.
I like two of the pathways. I didn't like Marcus's. Marcus's pathway was garbage, in my opinion.
And I didn't really like.
And I don't got no beef with Jesse Williams. Shout out to you. You did a great acting job. But there was like, it's war or less war. Where Kira, though, she was trying to get away from abusiveness and stuff like that. It was really good.
She was my favorite.
Built the story. And then Connor. I love Connor. Connor and Mr. Krabs. Like, shout out to Mikolo. She was always hopping stream. He's like, dude, that's Mr. Krabs, right? And I'm like, dude, I totally hear that now. But their relationship together where he hates androids. That was really good. Big spoiler. But you guys saw me play it, so screw you guys.
Like I said, if we've done a spoiler cast or anything, I can say
yeah, that is funny. But go ahead. What was the studio you were going to mention?
Oh, no, I just think...
you think that's a possibility at all?
Quantum Dreams is... I think it could come over.
Yeah.
They make pretty good... I think one of the three games is a super good narrative game. The other two kind of go on tangents that are just bonkers.
I really like Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain's been their best reviewed game. I really like Heavy Rain and the Origami Killer, where this guy was drowning children and stuff. Very dark game. Really like that one a lot. But I kind of get you. It gets a little.
Doesn't he keep saying, like, what was the kid's name?
I forgot his name. Yeah,
like,
I forgot.
Steve.
Yeah. It didn't look like it used a little like you said. Detroit Become Human did a really good job. Like, they look exactly like the actors.
I think he finally had like a complete thought and just didn't like it's supposed to be different webs. But
yeah, you're right. I know. I really like that one. I think Heavy Rain's really good. Beyond Two Souls is pretty cool too, where Ellen Page and this like demon entity aliens like attached to her for whatever reason. But you're right, it kind of gets a little...
Well, hey, it's good to have crazy in this world, guys.
Yeah. But that's what I like about Sony. They're willing to do this shit. They're like, hey, just do it.
Make that shit, man.
Just do it.
Coin is dope.
This one, it's not realistic. Sega already owns it. Sony already had their chance to get it. And it's Atlas. The makers of Persona and all that, they're not going to... I think...
No.
I don't think that's going to happen. I just threw some extra ones in here. Another one I don't think is going to happen is From Software. Bloodborne 2 will happen, but it'll be a PS5 thing. But I think Miyazaki will keep his independence. I think Sony already had a chance with Demon Souls and kind of missed the train. They fixed it with Bloodborne because Bloodborne is a much better game than Demon Souls. It's one of the best Sony exclusive. It was the big Sony exclusive that started the exclusive train where they were not doing as well. Like Knack 2 didn't do good. Killzone, Shadowfall didn't do good. The Order did terribly, which I actually liked the Order. I thought the Order was pretty cool. I like this, what is it? The English, what's that English, like, James Bond type, like, X-Men movie? Something Circle? I forgot what.
The Kingsman?
The Kingsman, yeah. It's like Kingsman, but like you're hunting werewolves and shit. Like, it was really cool. I liked the Order. I thought it was really fun, and it was gorgeous and it ran really well. But I understood the story got a little lackluster, and you had the same 3 boss fight over and over again, which was kind of a bummer. But very creative. I wish that game would have got a sequel and got another chance at life. And it's hard because a lot of these games, if you don't hit a homer now, you don't get to for another like 20 years. So. It's really tough. From Software, I don't think that will happen. And then the last one's Marvelous, which I don't also think they do a lot of those anime games, a lot of those Senra Kagura games. But since Sony has this new censorship policy that's pissing everybody off in the anime community, I don't think that's going to happen either. Did you have any other studios in top of your head, or did you have any other thoughts that you wanted to think about?
Well, the only one off the top of my head is with the new CTR remake, Refueled.
Beanox.
Is Beanox a consideration to go out there? And does Crash become a place? Does Activision? Well, Activision owns it, so it's not gonna.
Well, they don't own it; they publish it.
Yeah, because does
well,
Crash
they publish the game. They own the rights to Crash. I'm sorry, you're right. They own the rights to Crash.
Because does Crash become a Sony exclusive character again?
I think there's still a possibility though, JJ, because of I think there's a lot of hints that there's going to be a Crash 4 because the Crash Insane trilogy sold so well that they're going to make their own new Crash games in that style of the Crash trilogy, like old school style. And I think it's a possibility. Keep those games $40, and they'll do well. I think they'll do really well. Toys. The amazing part is there was 3 different companies that handled those games. Yeah. Crash Team Racing was Beanox, Toys for Bob was Spyro, and what was Insane Trilogy? Who was that again? I forgot.
I thought Blue Point did one of them, but I'm not positive.
I forgot who did the Insane Trilogy. I apologize. Let me know in the comments below if you know. Beanox, I could think is a possibility too. Why not? Like they, what else did they do very famously, JJ, before Insomniac took over?
They did some pretty good Spider-Man games, man.
They did some pretty good Spider-Man games.
I think they did Shattered Dimensions.
Shattered Dimensions. What was the one after that? The sequel to that one.
Did they do what's the one where Shattered Dimensions is the one with Wolverine, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Well, yeah, what's the one with you can play as Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099?
Yeah, that's I forgot what it was called, but they did that one too as a sequel. That one was really good. Both of those were really good. And honestly, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but the Amazing Spider-Man 1 was really done really well by them. They did a really great job. It took place right after the movie. It wasn't a movie game, but it had the similar looking characters of the movie. But I really liked that one a lot. I platinumed that one. Took forever to platinum, but that was a good one. JJ's looking for the Insane Trilogy.
I don't know where the fuck it is. Oh,
what?
Here it is. Is it Vicarious Visions?
Vicarious Visions. Okay. I mean, they all did really great job. I was really surprised how well each of those... Again, they're shot for shot, though. But still, they're done really well. I mean, they're done incredibly well. They handle incredibly well. They look great. They sound great. They're tough. Besides Spyro. Spyro's pretty easy. Spyro's...
Spyro wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
Crash 1 is fucking hard.
I do believe Crash 4 is a thing. I think Sony knows. There's a reason why they had it on their stage show at E3, bringing him back. Crash is back, and he's better than ever, man. I think they're doing good. Is there anything else you want to add before we end it? And guys, down below, please tell us what you guys thought of E3, and were you guys disappointed? Were you guys expecting what you saw? And what was your most hype moment? What you're really excited about? Also, make sure you smack the hell out of that like button. It really helps me out. Definitely sub if you're new. And definitely leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. I do got the new camera. I'm still waiting for a couple of pieces. I need a tripod and a couple other things before I could actually use it yet. But I'm excited to use it. There will be no other stream tonight. Normally J.J. and I will play, but he's got to go to bed. And it's a little late. It's 11 right now, Eastern time, my time. We'll probably play Thursday, because I think you won't be able to play tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow night, I will be done at 7 o'clock, so I'll be able to hop on tomorrow night.
Okay, so we'll play some more tomorrow. Maybe I'll do an earlier stream on YouTube as well, just to get you guys some content. But I gotta give my cousin JJ a lot of love. He helps me out a lot. Again, shout out to Chad and shout out to Steve. They couldn't be here. I wanted to hear what they thought. Was there anything you wanted to add, though, before? I don't like doing closing time.
State of Play is going to announce that they are in the process of making Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Okay. I think State of Play will have Capcom. It will have Dino Crisis Remake. But I think it might be a PlayStation 5 thing. And quick thought. Since Microsoft already said holiday 2020, you think Sony does the same thing for PS5?
It's either going to be in that holiday 2020 range, or it's going to be a couple months before that, or a couple months after that. So it's either going to be, I think it's either going to be like maybe summer of 2020.
I think it's 2020. I don't think they're going into 2021. I think it'll be 2020.
Or it's going to be like March of 2021. It's going to be early 2020.
That was my guess with March, but since seeing all these release dates for Avengers and all these other games, you and Chad might be right. They might do holiday 2020, or like you said, summertime, like June maybe. I think we'll hear about it sooner than later.
Yeah, I think they're going to be announcing something.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. If Sony has showed you anything, this is what I wanted to tell you and Chad last time we had a podcast where you guys really thought, you guys were really set in stone that they were going to stick to, holiday 2020. And they still might do that. But what Sony has showed me this console generation is that they do not care. They'll do whatever they think is right. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, they don't follow the normal standards of a console generation anymore. They do what they think is right, and I think March was a possibility, but I think that got pushed back. I think it'll be summertime. I think it'll be before Microsoft. But any last words, JJ?
No, just
appreciate you joining me as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Golden God and Friends, episode 33, our podcast. I do apologize that it took a couple more weeks. We got to do this more regularly, and talk about the. We should do it weekly, and we should be more. But I understand you guys got lives. You guys are always busy, and I understand that. But I always appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much. Most importantly, thank the audience. Thanks out to everybody that was here. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Savage. Shout out to Shannon. Shout out to everybody that was hanging out and stopping by. This will be a video later that you guys can watch. I know Chuck will watch it and a few others. I know you guys are working. But and Chad and stuff like that. But thank you guys so much. Most importantly, thank the fans. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Definitely have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Your fellow Strassman, the GG. His beloved cousin, JJ.
Peace.
We're outie.